In this video, I'm going to show you how to attach Wanda's hair to her head. I'm going to move these pieces out of the way here and show you the hair first. So the hair is, because it is knit and garter stitch, is technically reversible. You can stitch or you can sew either side to the head with either side facing out. Whichever way kind of ends up laying right for you, it's up to you. So the way that it is positioned is we want the center point, which is this center point here, to be aligned with the middle of Wanda's back. So that will be her hair coming down in the back, which means that once we line that up there, we want to then take this flat edge of the garter stitch hairpiece and line it up here where the garter ridges meet the stockinette of the head and where the color changes. In the front, you should have a space about 2 inches in width with enough room to place her eyes. And so I like to, as I'm setting this up, I can find it helpful to maybe stick a pin in there or a locking stitch marker or something to kind of help me to place the corner edges of the hair. Just kind of make sure that the hair lays the way that I want it to lay. On some versions, people have flipped the hair outwards. I like it kind of lying over the shoulders like this. The little peaks of the hair piece should lay over the shoulder and allow the hair to drape down the back. So now once we start stitching it, what we are going to do is take the long tail end, one of the yarn ends from the hair piece, and we will begin, we'll put it on a needle, here I'll show you, and then we will just do a quick and easy little whip stitch all the way around until we get to the other side. So I'm going to find the end here, thread it onto a yarn needle. And I find it easy to kind of just pick the same spot. So I'm going to take this lower loop here of the garter stitch ridge. I'm going to take the lower loop. I'm going to come up through, move this out of the way. And then every time I come and pick a stitch up off of the flat edge of the hairpiece, then I will go up through that same lower loop on the hair. And come pick up just from the edge here into the lower loop of garter stitch. Okay, so as I come around to the end, now I'm going to take out that last pin, and I'm putting the last little stitches into place. And then what we are left with here is going to be 2 yarn ends. I'm leaving the other yarn end here so that I can tie these two in a knot and secure both ends of the hair. I'm going to put this other end on the needle now, and the fact that it's kind of flapping open here, what I'm going to do is tack it into the head and bring it out right kind of where the other strand, the other end is coming. And the reason I'm going to do this is it just pulls it a little closer to the head to close up any opening of the gap. So now that it's coming out where the other end is, you can take that off the needle and tie this in a square knot. Knot it one more time to get it extra knotty and tight. And then this double end can now be tucked into the middle of Wanda's head somewhere. I'll do that just by sticking the needle in there. And pulling the ends through. And now I'm kind of manipulate the shaping with my needle tip, and there's her hair nice and attached. And next we will attach the eyes. Okay, now that the hair is attached, I have cut 2 circles out of black and white felt, and you can see the little stitch marks in white. I have secured the white felt to the black circles. And now I'm going to use black thread to sew the circles onto Wanda's face. I find that as far as placement, a little bit wider apart is better than a little bit closer together. Kind of position them like so. And to keep them in place while I'm sewing one, I'm going to use those same needles that I that I used for the hair, and kind of keep them in place. So to sew felt onto knitting, it's easiest to go into and underneath the felt first. So instead of going into the knitting first, go under the felt first. And there should be a knot in the end of your string. Just kind of tuck that under the eyeball. Okay. And then we simply do just a little whip stitch all the way around. So you pick up a little bit from the face and then right into the underneath of the felt. And just pull that up snug, but it doesn't need to be too tight. Making it too tight will make the face pucker, and it'll just make it look a little bit weird. So just a little bit from the face, a little bit from the felt. And repeat that all the way around. Without breaking the thread, I'm going to stick it into the face and then bring up the needle over by the other eye. Pushing it in over by this eye and bringing it up over by the other eye. Do a second to just double check, make sure everything's in the right place. I can take this needle out and proceed to stitch around the second eye. Now when you've got them stitched, they should be perfectly secure. If this is going to be a toy for a child to play with or someone that's getting a lot of use, you might want to do extra small stitches and a lot of them to really secure the eyes to the head. But if it's going to be decorative, it really doesn't take very many stitches to secure it. So now I'm just going to tie a little knot with my thread. And then you can just bury that end inside the head somewhere. So I just do that by pulling it through. And then I'm going to cut that there. Now, in the process of sewing your eyes and hair on stuff, your head might have gotten a little bit misshaped. You can take a needle, kind of push stuffing around inside there, and get it into a nice round shape. And then the hat, Wanda's hat, is it fits on her head, not super snug. It is not the same size as her head. It is a little bit smaller, so it sits kind of above the hairline. If you are wanting to make it so that it doesn't fall off, you can take a black or green, but probably black thread, and just kind of whip stitch it to the top of the head. And if not, then it will just kind of sit on the head in whatever slant you prefer. But it can be stitched down to keep it kind of in place more. And that is how we attach Wanda's hair to her head and her eyes.